Plus, Courtney might get some grease under her nails this morning. Uh-oh.
I'm telling you, if you're not getting grease under your nails, you are not the kind of woman that she's trying to hang out with. Stick around. From the shop out to the storeroom, I'm going to show you exactly what Shasta Smith has up her sleeves. Stick around. She's a vintage monkey.
The nurses all gather round, and they gazed in wide wonder at the joy.
All right, here you go. Two passions you wouldn't think would go hand in hand. A full-time interior designer who loves to work on vintage motorcycles on the side. But Courtney Dempsey is checking out Vintage Monkey this morning. Hi, Court.
Okay, first of all, I love the fact that it's called Vintage Monkey. Vintage Monkey. This is Shasta Smith, the monkey herself. First, where'd you get the name from?
So a friend of mine years ago referred to me as a monkey because I was always a little grease monkey around, and he's like, "You're a monkey," and I really have a passion for vintage.
Right.
So what better way to put it together but
the worlds collide. I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is the shop area. When I came in, there was clanking. You guys have like gotten quiet all of a sudden. I'm trying to be convenient. Make noise! Make noise! We love noise. What are they working on over there?
So what they're working on right now is
like a good flame.
Is we're designing up an industrial sofa. And so right now they're working on different metal elements to kind of put this sofa together. They're working on the foundation of it, where these vintage wheels that we actually just picked up yesterday, how those are going to be assembled so we can actually roll around this monstrosity.
This is hilarious to me. Okay, so the idea is that you go and pick out, you find scraps and pieces and things that basically, you know, grab your creative fancy and figure out a way to make them into things that your clients are going to love.
Right, right. So I'm picking out pieces that are probably never going to get used again. So for instance, like these vintage wheels, these are never going to be used again. I mean, they're old, and what we're going to do is we're going to recreate them so they work again, but we're going to give them new life for this sofa. It's like what we would do for light fixtures, art pieces, and anything of that nature for interior and exterior design.
Fantastic. Okay, now so if we slide over to the shop side or to the actual showroom side, this is what you're talking about when you're turning it into art pieces. And these are all, like, I love this light fixture that you've got hanging.
Yeah, so there's nothing better than working with guys who know how to build, and then kind of my neurotic mind is, you know, this came out of the back of a scrapper's truck, and this was going to get recycled, and they're antique tractor wheels. I needed a chandelier over our conference table where we meet and do all of our design kind of mock-ups.
Right.
And so I brought these in and said, you know what, guys, I need light, and let's stack these together, let's weld them together, and let's figure out a way where we can light the area and create some ambiance.
I love the way your brain thinks. Okay, now I'm looking over here. My photographer, this totally grabbed his eye. Scott was like, "Oh, I love this grapevine thing you got working." What was that originally?
So originally, this was straight pieces of steel, and so what we did was we bent and torched the metal and almost like hand forged this together for a commission piece for a client that owns a wine bar out on K Street. And what you'll see is each of these grapes up here these grape clusters that we put together, they all hinge open, and so the client can put candles in there in the evening and create a glow in the patio.
My goodness. Again, I love the way your brain thinks. Okay, now if you take a look around the room, you will see all kinds of pieces of metal that they have contorted and twisted to make into amazing pieces. You see this world over here. In her world, vintage bikes rule. So coming up in the next hour, Shasta Smith is going to introduce us to some of her vintage pieces, and I bet you cannot guess which is her favorite. It is street legal. I just want to lead with that.
Okay.
Just so you know.
All right, I can't wait to see you. I love that grapevine thing that she crafted. I love it. Yes. I'm thinking, how can I talk hubby into that one? Something like that. All right, Court. Thanks, Courtney Dempsey at Vintage Monkey this morning. If you're trying to get ahead, you better...